Excellent.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, can't say it, Pat. You gotta wait now. All right. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, September 16th. Welcome, everyone, to another fabulous meeting of GOL. And we do have a quorum, so I'm going to quickly take roll and make sure that folks can hear and be heard. Pat DeAngelis,
Present?
Lynn Griesmer,
Present.
Counselor Lord.
Present.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll keep an eye out for Counselor Ate. I know sometimes we, oh, okay, sorry. I got thrown off for a second. My computer glitched and is showing Athena as both an attendee and a panelist, and I got confused. All right, even though it says attendee 0. I don't know what's going on. All right, so we've got a packed agenda today, but let's start off with public comment, other than for some reason, whatever reason, Athena's showing up in my public comment, my public members of the public.
That's so weird. You're showing up as an attendee in mine.
Yeah, what is up? Okay.
And neither of you are showing up as attendees. You're both as panelists in
All
mine.
right. Well,
It
Zoom is,
says it says 0 attendees,
yeah.
so I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
good.
we're good. I think we're okay there. Zoom is just trying to duplicate Athena and I guess.
We're all trying to duplicate Athena. We
That's
can't
true.
get along
Wait,
without her.
you don't want multiples of me, Pat? Come on. All right.
Ow, no way.
So, so the world would not be ready. All right. So we do not have any members of the public, so we will have no public comment currently. And on the agenda today, we've got a couple proposals to discuss. Oh my gosh, my camera's off and no one told me. Sorry. We have a couple proposals to discuss. One from CRC, two from TSO. And then we are going to discuss the Finance Committee vacancy and the Charter Review Committee vacancy before we get to the town manager evaluation process. So I thought Pam was able to join us, but I'm just going to make sure I didn't tell her a later time. One moment, please, if you don't mind. All right. All right, I did say, let's see. Okay. We are, oh, she didn't get back to me. Okay. Well, let's start with the inclusionary zoning discussion, and I will pull it up on my computer so we can look through it. We did have a piece of feedback from KP Law via email, and that was Mary zoning. Because they did not have any comments in the document, I don't think. So hang on, I'm going to share my screen. One moment, please. Oh my goodness, the amount of screens. Okay. All right, so Pam sent us a memo. Here it, oh, and in that moment, I'm going to double check to make sure. Hello, Counselor Ate. Can you hear us and can we hear you?
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank you. All
He's
right.
in the mood.
What? All right. Don't prescribe things to people.
I can if I want to.
Let them know I am the chair of this meeting.
Yeah, but I'm the oldest person in the meeting.
Yeah,
I
that
do what I want.
Okay. Point is, but not the shortest, right, Pat? That's very important to you. You are a tall person. Okay. So this is the memo that we got from Pam Rooney regarding the inclusionary zoning fees. I want to just be very clear. We are not reviewing the text of Pam's memo for clarity, consistency, and actionability. We are just reviewing the proposed changes. So they're CRC, and Pat, you are on CRC, correct? So
Yep.
you might be able to give us some overview of this as well. But basically, Article 15, Section 15.171 is the section of the was created by or initiated by the Municipal Affordable Housing Trust, and it has gone through the process. CRC closed their public hearing on August 28th, and they're proposing to amend this section of the bylaws, and that is regarding essentially the amount. My understanding is the amount that a developer would pay in lieu of putting affordable units into their apartment building. So we have a policy that states that developers have to create a certain number of affordable units within their building. And this is kind of the other option for them where they can instead pay a fee to the town. The recommendation is that the fee per unit, the changes that they're putting in say that the fee in lieu of value for each affordable unit shall be at least 5 times and no more than 8 times the current median family income for Amherst as determined by Department of Housing and Urban Development or successor agency. That's a dark end of that sentence. Precise payment amounts will be determined by the permit granting authority with consultation from the Housing Trust and may account for market conditions, total development cost, and they added in cost of postponement and delivery of affordable units and similar factors. So I know that this was available to you to read, but just in case, this came about because the fee had not been changed in a number of years. Pat, am I correct? The fee
Yes, you're right.
stayed the same for a long time and was far lower than its equated value of those units.
Yes.
Pat, anything that you'd like to add here?
Not really. I think it's pretty clear. I think where my concern has risen, which I didn't have when I was looking at this, there are a couple of different definitions of family median income.
Okay.
And I believe that the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development definition, but I have to do a double check on that. I was trying to find it, would be okay. Because if I'm correct, it says it represents the income of families with 3 or more earners in the area. And all individuals living together in the household, regardless of their relationship to each other. So if that's the HUD definition, we're kind of okay. If it's not, there is also something called a household median income, which is all the people that occupy a housing unit, whether it's a single person, roommates, families. The other interpretation of family median income is blood related. And that was not what we want to do. So, I'm sorry I'm bringing this up now, but I literally just started looking at this a few minutes ago.
So this seems to me like a clarity question of what definition are we using?
Right.
Is this, when I looked at the Housing and Urban Development website, and I looked for median family income, this was the initial number that came up, $119,000 for the median family income. And then it explains how they get that number.
What is it saying about what the composition of that that's,
Hang on.
because
I mean, it's looking at persons and family and looks at kind of the average. It seems like
right, but that's, again, there's a difference between family and household. And I could be, because in 2023, okay, in Amherst,
yeah.
median household income was 69,420. And the median family income was 117,323.
Right, but a household could be one person.
Yes. So median doesn't work because everything gets skewed. So we're not worried about AMI, but what I'm trying to figure out is when we use this definition, are we including all members of a household, even if they're 3 unrelated people, which is what the household definition is. Household median. And then there seems to be 2 definitions out there about what family median income is. One of them only as a family who are somehow cousins, aunts, uncles, children, elders who are blood related. And yet there's also this thing where I have this note, but I don't, that it's 3 or more earners in the, in the area.
All right, hang on, let me do a
And
little.
I apologize for bringing it up, but it seems important before, we,
So I do hear you. I think this is a worthwhile discussion that I want to have. I don't think that the bylaw itself is on the face of it, I guess on the face of it, it's maybe not unclear because it specifies the language and the location where to find that language. If it just said, family income or household income, it would be, in my mind, confusing and vague. But because it says median family
Yeah.
income as determined
the
by
font,
HUD.
right, but my feeling is let's get the exact definition that HUD uses to check this, that's all.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that that's not substantive about if we agree with what that number is. You know what I mean?
all I'm asking us to do
Yeah.
is understand what the definition is and somewhere, and that would give me clarity, but perhaps since there is this confusion, we might ask that we put the definition in there. That's,
Lynn, sorry, go ahead.
I would like to see the definition in there. That's for clarity as to whether or not this is the right number to use. That's not our business. That's
No.
council's business. But
right.
in order to take it to the council, they need to understand what the options are.
So hang on, I found it.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Anna.
All right.
You're much better at research, finding all these little Gucci's. I might have it, but I'm
No, you're fine.
good enough.
Well, let's see if I have it. So methodology for calculating FY25 minute. I think part of the challenge is it seems like they update this every year.
Yeah.
So we want to make
Right.
sure that we're not putting in something that then the council has to update every year. But let's look here.
Well, you don't have to, well, that's true.
So it needs to be very clear when at the point at which the median family income in this case is done, what point is that? Is it the point at which a permit is rendered, or when is? That's number one. The other,
It uses median family income opposed to median household income,
Mm-hmm.
but
Median family income is 2 or more related persons.
where are you seeing that? I'm not,
Oh, I saw that from before. Hang on, but let me look.
thank you.
Family refers to the census definition of a family, which is a householder with 1 or more persons living in the same household who are related to the householder by birth, marriage, or adoption. The definition of family excludes one-person households and multi-person households of unrelated individuals. In its standard tabulations, the Census Bureau publishes median family income estimates in table long number.
So therefore, we are not including a single person who earns a lot or a little. We're
Right.
not including student households or roommate households. 2 roommates living together, they're not married. Their
Right.
incomes don't count. So is this what we want? Or do we want it to be broader
I
or?
think that's a CRC question,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Counselor Ate?
It is a CRC and a town council question.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Anna, can you send me this link? No,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can.
Can't see what it is, and then I can putz with it.
can I just ask another question? And this is not actually a GOL question, but does this bylaw only kick in if we're already at the state required level of 10%?
Hang on, let me pull it. Hang on, I got too many windows. 1 second.
I don't remember.
So, um, is that something that we will see in this, or is it? Hang on, let me look at the bylaws. If someone wants to play like the Jeopardy music, that's okay.
Yeah, it's too bad Pam's not here, but I bet she doesn't know either, but I could be wrong.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay. Where? Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait, no. I need to be in. Am I in zoning bylaws or am I in general bylaws? Zoning, right?
Zoning, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
That was my mistake. Okay. Too many bylaws. Okay.
I have it here.
I got it. I just pulled it.
Paper copies.
Oh my gosh, I'll race you.
No, you'll be faster.
Okay, so here we go. Let me share it so everybody can read, not just me. All right, we are up here. I'll make it bigger. I'll make it bigger. I'll make it bigger.
I got it. I found it.
I know, but I see everybody leaning in. Okay.
Yeah.
All residential development resulting in new dwelling units above the number already existing in development. What? All residential development resulting in new dwelling units above the number already existing in development. Can someone please explain that part of it?
What are you reading?
It's
On page 123.
basically a grandfather clause.
That's annoyingly phrased, but okay, thank you.
I agree with you.
Yeah. But yes, okay, got it. So shall provide affordable housing units at the following rates. Basically, if you're 9 or under, then no. So it's 10 and up, Lynn, to answer your question, that this kicks in.
Right, but here's my issue. If we aren't meeting the minimum, why would we want to let somebody off the hook by paying money
If we aren't meeting the minimum, what?
at 10%?
Oh, you mean of dwellings in
Because
town?
Yeah.
it's a possibility, and I would ask the trust that, but it's a possibility that the money could go for a larger affordable housing development, where instead of just 2 units or something like that, or payment.
And
I'm gonna put.
I will
I'm gonna
ask that
caution
question
us
at the
to
council.
I was going to say, I'm going to caution us to, that is a really great question, and it might be another good council question.
Mhm.
Okay. Back to.
So what I'm understanding from this request, if I could go on.
Yep.
Is basically the whole purpose of this review was to update the price that people have to pay if they want to get out of building the affordable units.
Yes.
Update
It
the
was
cost.
in the last bylaw, it was 4 times the current median family income as
Right.
determined by HUD. And now they would like to change it to 5 times, up at least 5 times, no more than 8.
Mhm.
And that is all dependent on the building factors
Right.
and other things.
Right. So in 1 year, 2 developers could come along in different years.
Mm-hmm.
But because of flaring expenses or different things, they might pay, the sum that they would pay the housing trust might be different. Or they would have, and so they might only pay for 5 as
Mhm.
opposed to 8, where another year, the developer would pay 8 times.
Right. Things like development cost. I have a question about this piece. Cost of postponement in the delivery of affordable units.
Where are you?
I'm sorry, I'm in the memo from Pam on the last bit of this is the CRC and planning board
Yeah,
recommendation.
yeah.
So they say they added in as one of the factors to consider cost of postponement in the delivery of affordable units. I'm not clear on what that means,
I would agree.
and I'd love clarification from our CRC folks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that I'm not sure. What I think it means is if a building is gonna be developed and there's a postponement on its when it's constructed and opened, but I'm not sure if that's correct. So we really need Pam Rooney here. I apologize, folks.
No, it's okay. I have an idea too, but Counselor Ate first, and then I'll go.
I was wondering what you mentioned. It was confusing. I wanted to get a sense from you of what you think it means.
So at first I truly had no idea. And then now I'm thinking that, wait, hang on, I had it and then I lost it. Cost of postponement in the delivery of affordable units. If it would take too long, so do the affordable units have to be the same type and kind as the rest of the units in the apartment?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
great. Okay. So,
What I'm,
oh, sorry. So if they were to add the affordable units to the project, if it would delay the project so much, is that what that means?
I, we need somebody else to answer
All
that.
right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm going to add a
No, it's
comment.
not. It's annoying. I'm mad at myself.
Committee is not. So here's the thing. We can leave this blank with a question mark right now because we are meeting again next week. We will have time to get through this and get it to the council for the council's next meeting. So we're not
Okay.
delaying this by needing to ask questions.
Okay, I will not be here next week.
Okay.
But you know, by then it'll been clarified. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Are there any other issues folks have with these changes other than the lack of or the confusion here regarding clarity, consistency, and actionability? Are there any other issues that folks have with the changes?
That are, yeah, about clarity, consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, Counselor Ate?
In the final sentence, it says precise payment amount shall be determined by the permit granting authority with consultation. I was wondering, is there a difference between with consultation and in consultation from the Housing Trust?
I would say that with consultation or in consultation means like deeply collaborative, they come to the decision together. With consultation means the Housing Trust sends them a recommendation, but ultimately the permit granting authority is deciding. But that's my
Right.
interpretation.
Yeah.
But consultation and recommendation are two different words, and I think that if it's the latter, to avoid confusion, this could be changed to with recommendation from. Because ultimately, it sounds like CRC wants this decision to be the permit granting authorities, but they want the Housing Trust to have input. I think it would be clearer for this to say with recommendation provided.
I agree.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And they can always choose not to provide one.
True. Okay. Any other?
I do have a question,
Sure.
and that is, it's on maybe, and this may not be CRC. Who decides whether it's going to be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8?
The
The-
permit granting authority.
Yeah.
That's this part, precise payment amounts.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Um,
All right.
Uh,
So it from the standpoint of CRC, we need to understand this postponement, cost of postponement, okay?
Yep.
From a standpoint of the council, we may have other questions. Got it.
Absolutely, it seems like it. Okay. So unless there's anything else right now, I'm gonna pause this and I will go back to Pam and ask for clarity on this. Does CRC have a meeting this week, Pat?
No,
No, I don't think so. It's next week.
no, it's next week,
On what day?
Thursday, 3
Thursday,
to
so it's
5.
after our meeting.
That's okay. I'll ask Pam if there was clarity, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Okay. So let's move on to the next piece.
I am going to leave.
Yep,
but
I hope you feel better, Pat.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, sort of. Take care, everyone.
Bye. So I'm trying to figure out the most logical path with these two. So next up, we've got the transportation. Wait, hang on. Okay. The Transportation and Parking Commission, which coincides with changes to the public way. Does anyone have strong feelings about which ones we do first?
I think we need to do the actual commission first.
That's where I was leaning, but I wasn't.
And the reason I do is because when we take it to the council has to agree to go ahead with the commission before they change the policy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're looking for clarity, consistency, actionability. I meant to pull up another committee charge to have next to me, so please bear with me for one moment while I pull this up. Okay. All right. So,
Is Andy joining us?
I do not believe so. I was not positive that we were going to get all the way through this. I think that he could join us next week, but not this week. I did not have clarity, consistency, or actionability notes on the top. The tiniest one that I had was that sometimes we say none here, sometimes we say 0. Consistency, I don't think it's like confusing, but that's that. All right, so any issues from here?
No, I'll take care of, I'll mention my other one here
Okay.
in the council.
Composition? Oh,
No,
gotcha.
no, I just,
Understood. Okay, so all right, we're on composition. I'm not clear why there's still track changes from George in here. I'm assuming that I should accept these and that we're looking at.
thank you, but I don't know why.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to.
So the legal stuff is on the right.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as we're going through, I will, I'm gonna accept George's and not accept the legal ones so that we have clarity on what we're looking at. Okay? So 9 voting members, police chief or designee, superintendent, planning director, member of the Commission on Disabilities, 2 town councilors. I'm just going to write 2 and put this in brackets for consistency because that's what we've been doing.
And you should spell out the word vice president.
Yeah. I had a question on this. We, does adding to the job, formally adding to the role of vice president necessitate a change, given that this is not outlined anywhere else in our rules or the charter as a duty of the vice president?
I believe the charter says, and other duties as assigned.
Okay.
I can check that while we're doing this.
Okay. All right. So in terms of clarity, consistency, and actionability, I don't think I have any issues there. Anyone else with concerns around composition? No? Okay. All right, let's go to purpose. Whoops, sorry. So under purpose, the Transportation and Parking Commission shall promote a safe, equitable, accessible, and environmentally sustainable multimodal transportation system that supports people and goods traveling safely, conveniently, and efficiently throughout the town and connecting with other communities. To achieve this purpose, the TPC shall review and have the authority to approve requests related to public ways delegated to the TPC by the town council and review transportation concerns such as proposed traffic and parking related bylaws and policies. The comment from KP Law was they were not sure what requests they were talking about here. Any thoughts on this one?
I'm sorry, I was looking at this. I can come back to that later. Let me go back and look at your sheet.
Councillor Ate?
So I'm assuming this would be referring to requests made by constituents.
Possibly, yes. I think it doesn't, it's yes, and also any other requests that are coming through for like reservations of the town common or things like that, I think, right? So they might be residents, they might be not.
Okay, so just it needs to be a bit more clear who or what is making the requests.
Yeah, I get where this is coming from. For me, it's clarified here. Basically saying like the requests that have been delegated to this group as outlined in the transportation and parking. And it feels like we're gonna get unnecessarily in the weeds here if we try to spell all those out, but we could if it's not clear. Lynn?
I think what we need to do is see to the extent is this spelled out in the policy,
Okay.
in the public ways policy. If it's spelled out in the public ways policy, of which there's a lot of changes, by the way, then it's taken care of.
Right.
So we might just for the moment put an asterisk there, check against public way policy.
Okay. Lynn, sorry. I'm thinking about what you said before. I don't think that
all
does
the
just
charter says
it should preside.
Yeah.
So
All the charter says is that the vice president presides in the
Right.
absence of the council, of the president.
So, I think my question does stand about can we create something else that is assigned to that role when that role is already predefined in a different way?
Well, it does the section of the charter. I can go back to it very quickly. The section of the charter says election in terms of practical, the method of election shall be consistent with the rules of the town council. The town council shall reorganize at any time. We can further define it in the rules. You ask a very good question because it probably would be cleaner if it just said another counselor. But I also have to say the chair of finance is not defined either.
Right. And technically the appointing authority is Paul. So couldn't Paul appoint whoever he wanted?
Yes. So in both cases, whenever a counselor is put on a committee, Paul always has followed the practice of asking the council for a recommendation. I would like to make sure we do that.
But it hasn't been in the charge, this specifically. I would argue for taking it out, honestly.
what would you take out?
I would take out the full piece in brackets, because to be fair, I would also argue against these two people. I think the chair of TSO would be a much more appropriate person. But this is so dependent. We're adding to the burden of committee chairs. Adding to the burden of vice president is fine because there's no written burden, but we already ask a lot of committee chairs. And I think that to automatically add something when they may not be the best person for the role, in my mind, complicates it. And yeah.
I don't think this is a GOL issue.
Okay, GOL wise, I do not think that this is actionable given the way that the vice president role is defined and given that the town manager is the appointing authority. I can argue either end.
I don't think it's actionable for either one, because the chair of finance committee does not have a description of their job, and it
Yeah.
doesn't, and if they did, it doesn't say and other duties as assigned.
Right.
So
And
I think it's not actionable.
and I think the appointing authority is the town manager, and this is trying to take that away from him.
And well, and it should be the council position should be upon recommendation from the council.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just went through this for two other. I don't think we want to leave it to the graciousness of the town manager.
Yeah, I
think-
know. I'm trying to think if we spell it out that much. Councillor Ette?
I think this is a fruitful discussion because it does point back to some of the conversation and votes we've had in previous meetings. I am usually in support of simplifying this kind of vote, so I would more likely be inclined towards having something like the chair of finance and vice president, but I do agree that that role is not specified, and so it doesn't need to be here. Perhaps we can leave that up to TSO to make the case for in council for why they would want these particular offices on the council, and then we can vote in that way. Maybe set a precedent, but not something that is not actionable as it is right now. So I think we should take that off.
Lynn?
Yeah, I will also add to that by saying we do have situations, I believe it's BCG, where somebody had, in that case, at least one of the members or no more than two members of the finance committee can be on BCG.
Mhm.
So in other words, if we're going to say finance committee, it should just be a member of the finance committee, not that. But at this point, CRC can make their argument. Our TSO can make their argument. The issue that we're pointing out is this is not backed up in other parts of our documents.
Yeah, and yes, I just went to look at the DPW building, the Public Works Building Committee charge, and it does not specify in that charge that the council shall recommend. It just says town councilor.
I know.
So Paul's followed that practice, but it's worth asking whether or not we need to add language saying recommended by the council.
I
Councilor,
think we need to check our rules. It might be in there.
Councilor Lord, thank you.
Sorry, that was an accident.
Oh, okay. No worries. All right. So for right now, we're taking this out and we will have further discussion. 3 residents with interests and or backgrounds related to transportation design, safety and equity, public transit, pedestrian and bicycle transportation, or parking. Okay.
I have, this may not be our business.
It's fine. We're catching each other all over the place with that today. So you're
I know, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like definitive lists. And so I would suggest in a council meeting that this say, or other relevant backgrounds. Or something that basically opens the door for somebody to make the case that, a person with, I don't know. Anyway, it makes a case,
Yeah.
it's somebody else. There might be another person with some kind of expertise that would be perfectly appropriate here, but they don't fit in nicely to any of these categories.
When we did the ABRC charge, we wrote it as some of whom shall have experience with one or more of the following areas.
Mhm.
And then we had a list. Of course, that was the whole committee, so it's slightly different, but I do think that yeah, I guess I'm not sure if this is a clarity, consistency, or actionability or not, but I generally agree that if we could add a or other relevant areas, I think that would make this stronger.
I don't think it is our business. I think
Yeah.
it is the council's business.
Okay, I'll leave it for now then.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to purpose. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Ate.
So as long as we have in notes,
All right, I'll make a note. May not be clarity, consistency, actionability, but discussed adding. Okay.
And I think it's similarly, we should have a note up where we took out the others that, why did we take that out? I can't wait to see how you put that one. Due to lack of or consistency, due to references. Yeah, good.
Okay. All right. Purpose. The Transportation and Parking Commission, TPC, shall promote a safe, equitable, accessible, and environmentally do we already read this? Environmentally sustainable multimodal transportation system that supports people and goods traveling safely, conveniently, and efficiently through town and connecting with other communities. To achieve this purpose, the TPC shall review and have the authority to approve. Oh, I already read this. I'm sorry. Approve requests related to the public way, delegated to the TPC by the town council, and review transportation concerns. So we didn't have any issues here, right?
No, yes, we did. We want to make
Well-
sure that all of this, whoever, who can raise requests is in our policy about public ways.
Okay, thank you. All right, charge. Just gonna make this easier for us to read. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right, so the town council delegates decision-making authority held by the council under section 2.14 of the Amherst Home Rule Charter to the TPC. And then okay, sorry, as specified in the town council policy regarding the control and regulation of public ways. Oh, it's just redundant. And reserves the right to, at any time, rescind such delegation of authority in whole or in part. Councilor Ate?
do we leave TPC as abbreviated or is it spelled out?
We can abbreviate it because we put it up here in, yeah, yep. So Lauren recommended, I think just because it's redundant, to delete that first bit and just go right to the second. I'm great with that. Does that make sense? Okay. And then Lauren added in and reserves the right to at any time rescind such delegation of authority in whole or in part, which I think is a good
Wise.
add.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren added a paragraph here. In making decisions on matters brought to it pursuant to the town, sorry, I'm trying to click where her comment stopped showing. Okay, there we go. In making decisions on matters brought before it pursuant to the town council policy regarding the control and regulation of the public ways, the TPC shall make individual findings of fact based upon the pending application or request and supporting documentation, as well as any information, evidence, or testimony provided by town employees or any other person. The TPC shall seek input from appropriate town staff prior to taking final action on any application or request. My only irk here is we say town employees and then we say town staff. I just want us to pick one.
Employees.
All right, I feel like we use staff, but okay. Okay. From time to time, the town council may elect to itself to make a final decision on an application or request, but nevertheless delegate to the TPC responsibility for conducting a related public hearing. Ooh. Following the public hearing, the TPC shall promptly provide to the town council detailed individual findings of fact and related supporting evidence, information, and/or testimony, as well as a recommendation to approve or disapprove the application or request.
I'll raise my hand.
Go ahead, Lynn.
There needs to be a time specific by which they have to do that. You know, within 7 working days, within 2 weeks. I don't care what, but it, you know, leaving it as vague as within 2 weeks of within whatever. I mean, what do
So,
people
sorry.
think is reasonable?
Okay, so let's think about this. They have a public hearing that might be a recommendation to approve or disapprove, right?
Yeah.
So, because when they send this report to us, it has to include both all the fact finding stuff as well as their recommendation.
Mhm.
I don't know if it specifies in
Well,
here.
and the other piece that goes with this is when you have a public hearing, sometimes you close the public hearing, but you still don't make the decision.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean is like it might be 2 separate meetings for those 2 things.
So
This
it's
is-
within X number of days or whatever
Right.
of concluding their action or recommend whatever. It's
should
got to
we
be
say
more
14?
specific.
Should we say 14 days? Or, I mean, someone throw something out here. I'm trying to figure out how often committees would meet. Some committees meet biweekly, seems to be a solid average, which is why 14 came out, but it could fall on a funky day. So should we say 20? Okay. I hate that writing it and then putting the number after. I'm just going to name that. And that is prompt enough. We don't need to say promptly. I'm going to name that this is not clear to me, but I don't, the phrase from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand why it is used. It's making me uncomfortable in terms of clarity, and actionability, honestly, but I am not sure what I would do instead because I understand why this is in here. Basically, this is saying the town council might look at something that the TPC is doing a hearing on and say, hang on, this is big enough that we need to be the deciding body.
Why don't you just get rid of from time to time?
Yeah. And say reserves the right to.
Yeah.
Councillor Ate?
I think that's clean. I was going to say at its discretion.
Ooh. Which one do you like more?
I don't like from time to time, but I also like what you mentioned. It's skipped my mind, but
Wait, what did I just say? Yeah, the
And
town council.
may reserve the right.
Thank you.
Thank you. God. It's okay, you know.
Oh gosh. And then it would just say to make a final decision. I gotta say, I am concerned with this. And I'm trying, and tell me if I'm not, okay, I'm just gonna delete this because Andy's thing keeps popping up. Tell me if this is not clarity, consistency, or actionability. I am concerned that in cases like this, where the town council reserves the right to make a final decision but delegates the responsibility for the hearing, that the town council is not doing due diligence. It is saying that the TPC shall provide detailed findings of fact. Is that, I don't think this is clarity, consistency as I'm saying it. So withdrawn.
Are you're questioning the delegation?
I'm questioning the delegation of the decision without the delegation of the hearing.
Yeah, got it.
But I don't think that
That's not
is
us.
falling under us. So
Right. I think the two things we have done are absolutely within our
yes.
purview.
Yeah. Okay. That big chunk of text was a delete by Andy Steinberg, so I accepted that deletion because I couldn't hover over it without a big box popping up. All right. In addition, the TPC shall, or are we good on this? Are we good to keep going? Okay.
Mhm.
In addition, the TPC shall make recommendations on bylaw changes related to transportation, referred to it by the town council or recommended by the town manager, support town staff in developing clear and consistent procedures for submittal of and response to comments, complaints, and requests related to parking or transportation infrastructure, policies, or regulations. I'm going to pause there just for a second. Is this insinuating that they will start over? Because I believe that we have a procedure for submittal of and response to. It's not necessarily, I guess I don't want, trying to think of this clarity. Okay, I actually do think this is clarity. We have an official system for submitting comments, complaints, and requests relating to transportation infrastructure specifically. Not all the other things. Is this saying that this group will start over and redo See-Click Fix? Or am I misunderstanding? Councilor Ate?
It's supporting town staff. So the
Yeah.
TPC isn't doing anything but just supporting staff. The question then is staff or are staff right now interested in developing that? In which, if they aren't, then there might be some clarity that needs to be made in the event that town staff do need that support, then TPC can provide it.
Yeah.
And we need to decide on the word staff or employee.
I think we tend to use staff because
It's fine with me. I don't care.
yeah, but I was trying to look back, Lynn, on other ones to see if what we did, but I'll look back up there. Okay, so I'll let this go. I do feel that this reads that there is a presumption that we do not have clear procedures for submitting complaints or comments regarding infrastructure, and I think that we do. And so but it could be that the intention with this body is to start those over anyway. So, and I know that it's supporting town staff, but that's my qualm with it. So it's unclear to me. Councilor Ate?
Yeah, so I agree with you. What you're pointing to is the fact that it almost seems an imperative that there is going to be a change.
Right.
Yes, and since we already have some of these procedures, that change would take over from what we have. So
Right.
if we could just, again, have a note to bring that up as something to discuss.
All right. Okay, hopefully that. Ah. Can't. All right. Okay, advise the town council and town manager on matters related to public bus and rail transit systems, alternative transportation systems, roadway systems, traffic circulation, traffic calming, vehicle parking, intermodal connections, transportation and parking needs of the business community, village centers and neighborhoods, and connections to communities neighboring Amherst. I mean, did they leave anything out? Lynn?
Or others as applicable. It
Thank
just-
you. Yeah.
Yeah, something that allows for an option that's not listed here. Thank you.
How about as requested?
Yes, fine. Just something that opens the door.
Yep.
It needs a semicolon.
Thank you. Foster public awareness on the safe use of public transit, bicycle and pedestrian facilities and foster public awareness on the safe use of public transit, bicycle and pedestrian facilities and advocate and promote their use. Foster public awareness on adopted transportation safety and traffic
Yeah,
calming.
I want to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Foster public awareness on the safe use of public transportation, bicycle and pedestrian facilities.
There we go.
I'll bring up my issue in the council.
Okay.
It's around the issue of electric bikes, what we just experienced in District 2 with the
Okay.
fire.
Yep. You gonna try to ban them?
No, just we need to do a really serious public awareness safety.
Yeah. Controversial take. Okay.
Yeah.
Foster public awareness on adopted transportation safety and traffic calming measures to educate drivers and other road users on these measures.
Yeah.
Okay. Criteria for decision making. Not capitalize that? Okay. Criteria for decision making, recommendations of the town's transportation plan, climate action adaptation and resiliency plan, complete streets policy and master plan, town and downtown parking studies, guidance from the MassDOT, and U.S. Department of Transportation, transportation engineering standards and regulations such as in the manual on uniform traffic control devices. This feels like it needs to be a full sentence, but it's fine.
It needs to also allow for future studies or whatever. So however we want to word that,
Yeah.
so that we don't have to go in and out them later.
Studies. I do want to say, I don't want to add a blanket in here. I do think we need to put guardrails on because the reality is that you can find papers defending anything on anything. And so I think that it is important to say that it needs to be backed up by our town staff. But I'm willing to, that doesn't feel like it's it. And so I'm hoping someone can help me find the middle there. Like we want to make sure it's reputable and we don't also want to limit it. While you're noodling that, I am still struggling on this being labeled criteria for decision making versus resources for decision making. This is not a criteria, this list.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, this needs to be called something else.
resources to be considered in decision making.
Okay.
Now, is that a CRC? I mean, a GOL responsibility? I don't know, but
I think so. Criteria, that's not the correct word. Like in my mind, criteria has a definition, meaning you have to meet all of these things and you're never,
yeah,
that's not, doesn't make sense. Um, all right. How about instead of considered utilized? That way it still has the like, you gotta consult these things versus just think about consulting them. Okay. I still don't like the way that this is written. But my brain's not coming up with anything else right
how
now.
about as agreed to by the committee or something like that?
Oh wait, it's a commission by the, what's it called?
By the
T-
commission. It is the commission.
Their name? TPD? T.
PPC.
Okay. Planning Department, Department of Public Works, including the town engineer. Public Safety Departments, Finance Department, and Parking Administration shall advise the commission as needed and or requested. We don't want the commission to assume they can make full requests of all town staff. That's something that we've been trying really to make sure that our commissions know that they have to go through Paul. So that we don't inundate our town staff. This to me reads as the commission can request. Any of these.
You
Like,
know, I wonder if they took this from the Board of License Commissioners,
probably.
because, I mean, to be honest with you, if we can model the Board of License Commissioners, I think it's fabulous.
I agree with you, and the scope of this commission is so much
Broader.
broader and
Well, and hard to define.
yeah, it touches so many more people
Yeah.
that will be involved. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, this does say shall advise when requested.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, they can always say, we're not available or something like that. But my sense has been the Board of License Commissioners has, first of all, they're staffed, and the staff person basically is the filter to anything else. And so it's not Paul in that case, it's the staff person. And I'm sure they have to check with Paul or check with somebody if it's appropriate to bring somebody in, but
I can leave this. I know that there's been confusion with other committees on how accessible, how much access they can have to request things of town staff. And I think that I do think that we should be consistent in what our expectation is for committees.
I would agree. with
And I
that.
think that this committee is one that has the potential to need a lot from staff.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't want this committee to become a burden or an unmanageable challenge.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to think about how to phrase this so that it's not interpreted as if you command them to come in, that they come in,
Right.
Um, I mean, we can leave it in and see if it becomes a problem, but that's my concern in terms
I
of
don't think it's a bad
actionability.
issue to have discussed in front of the council,
All right,
because some of the council committees have been
right.
some of the violators.
Not me.
No,
Okay. Dual concern insinuating that we can us staff time whenever they want some sort of check and balance here. All right. Reports. The Transportation and Parking Commission shall make an annual report to the town council or provide an interim report as may be requested at any time, and will provide written recommendations to the town manager and town council as requested. We have been adding in shall make a written annual report.
please,
our committee
yes.
presence. As requested or as otherwise outlined in this charge, right?
And wait a minute,
Sorry, this last piece will provide written recommendations to the town manager and town council as requested and as otherwise written in this chart. Like we say that they have to give us written reports on other things too.
yes.
Um,
And one of the interesting things here is one of the charter changes, if this goes through, is this group should be added to the group of 5 that we get annual reports from.
Mm.
You can just make a little note about that.
um,
And I think that's the kind of charter change that doesn't require anything but council action.
possible need for charter change to add sort of one of the ones. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna say that we should not vote on this yet. Let's wait until our next meeting and get thoughts from Andy on this. And anything before we move on to the public ways? No? Okay.
I also think we need to review this consistent with the public ways policy.
Absolutely. So I will. Our track changes will be placed in our packet for next week so that you can review them. So I will also send this document out so you can have it and review what we've been discussing. And look at the public ways. Okay. So it is 7:40, just about. We do have to discuss the town manager evaluation process. And we do have, we have other items that I would really like to discuss. Given that Andy was not able to join us today, are folks okay if we push the public ways discussion to the next meeting so that we can go to the other items on the agenda today?
Yes,
A bit more timely. Okay. So I'm
I'm fine with that.
going to do that. I will email out any opposition to that. I heard from Lynn, sorry. Any opposition to that? Anyone's like, I really want to
No.
talk about public ways today, or I'm going to be real bummed. Okay. Excellent. So, I would like to move us then, hang on, let me pull it up, to the next item on our agenda, which is the discussion of the current committee vacancies. So we mixed up, we dropped a ball, and I want to pick it back up again. When we did not fill the when we had an applicant remove themselves from consideration after the finance committee process, we did not go back and start over with that person, not with that person, with that position. So we have been sitting with a empty spot, and we have a member whose term is up on finance, up or is almost up. I can't remember. I have to look.
Passed, it's passed.
Passed. I did not know that this term had passed. I apologize. I didn't really have a system for keeping tabs on committee membership expirations. I do think that that's something where we should figure out a better process for notifying GOL of vacancies, because to be honest, space that we hadn't filled the other finance spot. It hadn't been on my radar. So we need to approve a bulletin board posting for the vacancies on finance. And sorry, I'm trying to pull up our actual items here. So I believe that we can use the same posting that we've used in the past. Let me find the sample of that and just change the dates. Athena, if I'm incorrect, please let me know. Putting a lot of faith in Outlook search features right now, which is never good. Okay. All right. So here is the old one for finance. We would need to update the term expiration. There we go. That's the word.
So it's a appointment, these are 2-year terms? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it would be a term ending June 30th, 2027.
7. And it would begin
Immediately.
immediately. So my question is, with the one that we did not fill, are we backdating it, or can we have them start immediately and do the same expiration date as this? Like,
I think we can have them start immediately, but bring them consistent with the term.
what do you mean?
They can start immediately, but have them end, either have them end in 2027
Mm-hmm.
or have them end in 2028, but have them start immediately. Bernie was very clear. He wants.
Yeah, I heard that.
Mm.
Okay, so we're seeking we've got 2 vacancies. Both terms would begin immediately and end June 30th, 2027. Is that correct? Because you said it's 2-year terms. So
We only have 1 vacancy.
no, Bernie is leaving,
Yeah,
and we never filled the other vacancy. We had 2 spots earlier.
we have Tom Porter.
Oh, I
and
forgot.
We
had
have
Tom.
Joe Joseph. So we have 2 ongoing committee members. We need to check on Tom Porter's term.
Yeah, when did we appoint Tom? Hang on. Stand by. All right, so Tom Porter ends next year. He's got a year.
Okay.
Yep, and then Bernie's the only vacancy. Okay, so yeah, so you're right. I don't know why I thought when we were interviewing for Joe's spot that there were 2 vacancies at that point.
There were. Bernie's term finished this last June.
Ah, that's what it is.
Yes, I'm
I'll
sorry.
blame- I'm gonna blame-
sorry, I
I'm gonna
didn't
blame
make
Bernie.
it-
No, you're okay. I was mixing up the math. All right, so just 1 vacancy. So basically this posting would be the same, except we would remove this paragraph, would not be in it. And this would read ending June 30th, 2027.
Mhm.
We include more information on the Finance Committee. If you're interested in volunteering to serve, please fill out a CAF. If you have questions, and all the charter stuff.
Yep.
We have had people who have reached out. I believe they have seen that it was vacant, and so they have submitted CAFs. I believe that per our rule, we will have to ask them to resubmit that same form. But we do have some folks in the pool who have indicated interest, at least 2 for this role.
Yeah, I think yeah, 2 is what I remember.
Yep. 2 recent submissions too.
Sometime in the last 3 or 4 months.
sometime in the last like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
All right, so that's finance. So is there a motion to approve the bulletin board posting for the finance committee non-voting resident member vacancy on
so
the town
moved,
bulletin
so
board?
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Is there a second? Thank you. All right, I'm gonna call the vote. Counselor Ate,
Aye.
Lynn,
Aye.
I am an aye, and Counselor Lord? Oh, we may have lost her.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
No, you're good. We're voting to approve the posting on the bulletin board for the vacancy on the finance committee.
Ex-
Yes,
okay.
okay, perfect.
Aye, yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, I will send this language to Athena, so you have it. And done. All right. Thank you all very much. Athena, I'm sure you are listening, so you know what I'm sending you, but text voted by GOL. Sent. Okay. That one's that. All right, so we will begin this process once again. Last time Pat took the lead on this. If anyone is interested in taking the lead on this, that would be amazing. That looks like reaching out to folks who have submitted CAFs. That looks and asking them to resubmit if they've applied in the past 2 years. It looks like coordinating the solicitation of statements of interest, and it looks like navigating the logistics of interviews. In the past, I've tried to put together a calendar to make that a little bit easier, but coordinating with the applicants about when interviews are takes a little bit of time, so it's been helpful. So I'm not going to ask for a decision right now. There's a lot of other things we need to do, but I would love for folks to mull over if this is something you'd be interested in taking the lead on coordinating. It would be very, very helpful. So with that done, likely not at our next meeting, but probably the meeting after this, we will be reviewing the selection guidance and interview questions for the finance committee. And at that point, hopefully we can start talking about a calendar as well.
And we have to decide if the pool is sufficient.
Yeah, and that's really yeah, that is part of the process, yes. Okay, so let's go on to the Charter Review Committee. And we did get another CAF, which is very exciting. Someone sent in a CAF for all the things, which is always great. Sorry, tabs. Okay. All right. So I'm just confirming, yeah, Charter Review Committee. Okay, so we do have a new submission to the Charter Review Committee. I had a question, let me back up. I had a question for this committee, and if this committee tells me I should ask Athena this question later, I can do that. I had a request by a member of the public for the dates that people withdrew from consideration, which is fine, but also the reasons why people pulled themselves from consideration, like basically withdrew their CAF. And I was not sure, given that CAFs are private, are not public information, whether the reasons individuals gave for withdrawing their CAF was public information or not. Does anyone have?
I will tell you, since I managed the first round for the Charter Review Committee, sometimes, frankly, it was just nobody, they didn't respond at all. And in other instances, they just said, I'm not interested. I personally think that we don't have the authority to publish anything beyond, so many people withdrew. I don't think anything else would be borderlining on exposing public record.
That was where I was leaning as well. I can share the date, but the personal reasons why people withdrew felt personal to me. But I also was trying to
Okay.
avoid the paperwork. If it became a public records request, then I may as well just forward the email. But if it's not appropriate, then I don't know. I was struggling with whether or
If
not.
it's public records request, what they can do is request emails associated with it. But
Right, but wouldn't- would
then
it-
they have to be redacted.
That's what
So
I was
that-
wondering, was like,
Yeah, no, they have to be redacted so that if somebody said, gee, my mother took ill, that you
Yeah,
redact that
yeah,
or whatever.
okay. I will, I'll respond back to the individual. Counselor Ate?
Who do the I'm trying to see how I can phrase the question. When we have had people withdraw CAFs, there doesn't need to be a reason given.
No, there does not need to be.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Then the second is, where would the communication go to on the withdrawal? This is in reference to email communication, for example, that could be part of such a request. It has to be specific. So I'm wondering, does the GOL chair or whoever is handling some of these processes, do they get to communicate with those who withdraw CAFs? How does that work?
In this case, I had reached out to folks who had submitted the CAFs a long time ago and asked them if they were still interested when we started reviewing the pool again, because it had been a long time. And both of these individuals had submitted for multiple committees. And so I reached out to ask, as we're continuing this process and re-looking at it, it was once we got 2 more CAFs in. Basically, I reached back out and said, "Hello, are you still interested?" And both individuals indicated that they were not. Does that answer your question?
It kind of, yes, it does.
Okay. All right. So we have, just want to double check one thing. Sorry. I thought that we had gotten 2, but I'm realizing I think we just got one more. I think we got one more.
I didn't know we got any.
We did. Yep, we did. So I'm just looking up the districts because I wanted to update my, I want to confirm that be really embarrassing if I wrote it and I was wrong. So I'm just gonna double check. One moment, please. All right. I was right. Okay, good. All right. I wanted to double check because it's my district, and so I just wanted to make sure I was correct that it was my district. All righty. So we have a 3rd CAF. This is our current pool. I will remind this committee, we did not, last time we talked, we, trying to remember if we never did any sort of formal decision as to whether or not we were going to continue to move forward or we were going to recommend to the council to not fill the seat on charter. And so I'm continuing to bring this forward as a determination of the sufficiency of pool unless this committee decides it would like to have that conversation again. Councilor Ate?
This is a question for the council president. So, Lynn, you mentioned that there was a request made for additional time by the charter commission, the charter review.
Right. That comes before the council on the 6th of October.
Okay.
And it is a request for an extension to January 6th, which is the day that the new council gets sworn in.
Oh, they get sworn in and get a report to read. That's fun.
Okay.
Was that all, Counselor Ate? Sorry, I
I'm
butchered
sorry, it's the
my
day
excitement.
after. It's the
Oh,
day after. We get sworn in on the 5th. The
Alright.
new council gets sworn in on the 5th.
all right.
Yeah, I bring that up because I do think may we're pushing the can down the road, but I don't think it is necessary to fill that position at this point.
Any other thoughts? Otherwise, I will make a motion to find the pool sufficient, and if there's a second, we'll vote on it.
Let me also say, we did receive a letter signed by 4 members of the Charter Commission saying they didn't think it was necessary to fill that position at this time. In fact, they basically said don't. And that was signed, I believe, the day after they finished their all-day retreat. And which is basically now shaping their next round of reports.
It was sent the evening of their retreat.
Oh, okay. So it was right after. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, if we want to go ahead with interviews, fine.
Would you like to elaborate?
Well, it just seems so strange to add somebody to a committee that's this far along in their work. But I also am very conscientious of the criticism about not having filled this position. And I think that and that's all I can say.
So once we find the pool sufficient, before we solicit statements of interest, before we develop interview questions and before we hold interviews, we need to adopt selection guidance for filling this vacancy. We did hear from the Charter Review Committee regarding some of the needs that they're having. And I think that we can use those notes to look at our selection guidance. But I think, Lynn, that the selection guidance and interview questions they are always very important, but I think that they became much more specific now, that we are looking to fill a vacancy in a body that's been meeting for a long time. That's been doing one project and meeting for a long time, right? So I think that it's made those 2 pieces even more important. What I don't know is, if I don't know that this would happen, I'm truly speaking hypothetically. I just tried to pull up our appointment process. I don't know if we can fail a search. Our policy says, the policy on appointment says after the interviews or at the next meeting of the recommending committee, the committee shall discuss applicants and make its recommendation to the town council. The recommending committee shall seek to minimize the time between interviews and council vote. Oh, and it does say the committee may choose not to make a recommendation. Sorry, thank you. I was reading the wrong piece.
Yeah.
So I do think that it's important to make sure that if we are putting someone on this committee, that we are putting someone in who's not going to disrupt the work that's not going to disrupt the workflows too much, right? Like, I think Bernie was talking, my professional world, I deal a lot with that, like norming, storming, performing stuff. Bernie was talking about bringing a new person in, and that there's no way for that not to be disruptive. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you're changing that ecosystem. So it is going to be shifted. That's disruption. It's going to happen no matter who is put on that committee. I think that it's important for this body to look at our selection guidance and interview questions so that we can put someone on the committee that's not going to cause a disruption to the point of significant delay of the committee's work. We're not trying to slow them down. We are not trying to waylay them, and we need to make sure that the folks, and this isn't to say they don't, but we need to make sure that the folks who are interviewing understand that they are jumping on a moving train, and that they have a lot to do to make sure they're caught up and to kind of help the work of the committee as soon as humanly possible. I'm monologuing, and all I mean is we need to be really cautious and careful as we look at selection guidance and interview questions. That's really what I'm getting at the end of the day. I would like us, so I'll pull that up again. I will make a motion to find this pool sufficient. If you support finding the pool sufficient and moving on with the interview process, you can vote aye. If you do not support that, you can vote nay or no, or whatever affirmative or negative you would like to share. I move to find the Charter Review Committee applicant pool sufficient. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, okay, coming in hot. All right. I'm gonna call the vote.
Can we have some discussion?
Yeah, oh, of course.
Thank you.
Discuss.
The reason I didn't move to second
Mhm.
is I'm not sure how I feel about this pool. There's nothing about this pool that isn't duplicative of the existing candidate, the existing members. They already have, we already voted this pool is not sufficient once before when we had just 2 people. And because they basically mimicked the criteria of the existing group. And if the additional candidate doesn't add anything, if you will, to the balance of the committee. So I'm torn. I just want to be very clear, I'm torn.
Can you specify what you mean by
Well,
balance?
yeah, I mean, the present committee has 3 females and 5 males. Of the 5 males, I believe only 1 is BIPOC. I believe all the rest are white. And they range in age from probably 19 or 20 years old to 79. So it, the pool doesn't add based on just the surface of this. And that's all I can do. Okay. It just doesn't add anything to the diversity of the committee. So that's my dilemma. And yet a 3-person pool is definitely sufficient. That plus where they are in the process and the fact that 4 of them have said, please don't fill this.
I hear you. Thank you. Counselor Lord?
Yes, thank you. Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm about to make a comment. Sorry about that. I understand that there's not a diversity, but from half the people have, sorry, I'm kind of working, but
You're
half
good.
the people, double duty. Half the people said, no, they don't want it. Other half were like, oh, it'd be nice to have an extra body. So not to like dehumanize, but I'm thinking this person, they've already done most of their discussions. Now it's putting together all the accumulation of what they've collected in their work. So I'm thinking of it less in terms of diverse thoughts of how to get out to people and get all this stuff in, though I think they're going to bring it back to the people. So that's why I'm voting towards it. I'm thinking, oh, it's an extra person to do the work. And I know there's thoughts about chemistry and imbalance, but if you need an extra body to here, file this or type up these or compile, that's why I'm leaning towards like voting for moving forward with this.
Mhm.
Thanks.
And yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you. Any other discussion before we move to a vote? Counselor Ate?
If that is the case, then what we're looking for isn't someone that is going to add substantively to the charter review as it is, but it's going to do some of that legwork, and that is going to, I think, change how we think of the questions if we decide to move forward.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think we need to make sure we're committing really good time and effort on the guidance and the questions. Any other discussion? Otherwise, I'm going to move to call the vote. Counselor Lord? We're voting if the pool
Oh,
is
the
sufficient.
vote. Oh, aye.
Thank you. Counselor Ate? Nay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Counselor Ate, could you repeat your vote?
Aye.
Glenn?
Aye.
And I am an aye as well. Okay, so the pool is sufficient. Thank you very much to our final applicant. And I will, at our next meeting tentatively, I hope to bring the selection guidance and interview questions to us. I will also reach out to the chair with that guidance. I've sent it to him before, but I will send it again. I will say,
You should reach to the full committee.
yeah, I was gonna say, I found it so worthwhile to actually have a discussion with the committee, that I wish we could do that again, but I understand that they've got a lot on their plates right now, so I'm happy to do that. Okay, never mind. I was gonna talk more about how we need to, as a council, contribute more to their work, but that's not on the agenda. Okay, so next up here, sorry, I'm just organizing all my tabs. The town manager evaluation process. Thank you all for backing me up on Monday and presenting it to the council. I wanted to just review the notes that I heard and make sure that I didn't miss anything, and get your insights into the discussion that we had yesterday. Generally, I did not synthesize the data that I gathered yesterday, so I'm just going to kind of go through. Counselor Hegner liked the format, and wanted to make sure that there was a place the town manager could indicate where we could indicate that the town manager could not meet a goal due to circumstances beyond his control, essentially saying he's not at fault. I will say I thought that we had done that in the way that we wrote it, and so clearly that was not that was not clear to others. So when we look at our NAs are not able to judge or not enough information, I think we should talk about the phrasing of that. And I'm happy to draft up some alternatives as to how to shift it to make sure that folks are saying, like, in the goals, we say goal was deprioritized by the council. And maybe that language needs to change to goal was not feasible this year or something like that. We talked a lot about the aspects of the town manager's role that we do not see. And so something I'd like to think about with this committee is how to ask those questions of the town manager. There is all that is written in terms of his job is to complete a self-evaluation. If there's a way that we want to structure that differently so that we can get that information, it does not have to be in a written report. Honestly, I think when I think about how much time he has to spend on everything else, and I think about what we get through town manager reports that we're supposed to be reading every time we come to a meeting, and I think about what we're supposed to be watching, I believe that it is our responsibility as counselors to learn this information. I would like to figure out a way to make the self-evaluation less daunting for Paul. He hasn't said it's daunting, but based on how long it is, I'm daunted. So I want to make sure that we're getting a self-evaluation that helps us. And personally, I would love to create an opportunity for us to have a conversation with the town manager at a meeting and ask questions about, hey, this item on the town manager's job, can you tell us about it? Like, I would welcome the opportunity to have more of an open conversation with Paul. not sharing our reflections, but just kind of a Q&A about the year. That was my thought. I'm not wedded to it, but I do not want to extend his self-evaluation. I think it's long enough. Any thoughts on this piece about the how to know the things that we don't currently know or see? No thoughts. Okay. I'll keep all the thoughts. Counselor Ate.
Yeah, we don't know the things that we don't see. I'm not even sure that the town manager does either, which is, I think, one of the beauties of this evaluation, because it will be an educational process. It's already is for me, because in reading the town manager reports now, I'm paying attention to those that are explicitly part of what we have requested him to do, those that fall under the charter, and those that in some ways seem to hover like a shadow within it, So it is an education, and from the first, whatever we end up getting, it will also be helpful in creating a template for what will be the goals. So I think we should give ourselves a little bit of grace here, and see it is already an improvement over the previous year. And so we could see how that could tie into other things going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that take. Lynn.
I'm still very concerned that in adding all of the criteria that are in the charter, although I'm torn. I like seeing it there. I've always felt that something about him performing his responsibilities as described in the charter should be part of the evaluation. But if I were him, I would then feel the need to speak to every one of those A through whatever U and provide evidence. And that is onerous. And so, I mean, I've tried to think about ways to get all of that out there, and maybe, I don't know. I've thought about everything, like ask counselors to pick 5 that they're going to rate on or something like that. Just anything that allows counselors to not feel like, first of all, they have to rate every one of them, because I can't even rate every one of them. And, and I meet with the town manager once a week. And I just can't. And even if I had an inkling of how I would feel, it wouldn't be sufficient to do a rating. So that's what's really puzzling me. And yet, to ask him, how many contracts did you sign? And then what does that tell us? We don't know if that's good or bad. How are we going to get around that?
Yeah.
That's where I'm stuck. And I so much prefer the idea that we brought forward this part of his job. But I'm just stuck. And I have to tell you, the clock is ticking, gang.
Oh, I know.
Because
So
we start this process October 1.
I know. This needs to be done in our next 2 meetings. So I'm wondering if there's a way to remove any judgment for counselors in selecting I don't know the answer to this question, therefore I'm not providing a rating. We put it in there for a reason. That reason being that we don't know all of these things, like we don't see all of these things. And I still would love to give Paul the opportunity, like give us the opportunity to ask those questions. If there are some that we're like, I think, but I'm not sure, say, hey, Paul, did you miss any contracts this year? Like, it doesn't matter how many he signed. It's more of, did you sign them? And what I am very uncomfortable with and what I will die on the hill of is I do not want to lump them together. I'm very concerned when the idea was brought up about we need to clump these and just say performed the duties in the charter. I'm going to tell you that is not going to be best practice. Given how many there are, we are going to end up with he did a lot of it, or kind of worse of I don't know at all, so I'm not going to fill anything out. So how do we feel about the idea of a unable to judge, but somehow convincing the council that it's okay to put that one and that you shouldn't guess? I don't know. And Paul and I are going to meet to talk about this, to talk about the self-evaluation as well, and I'll get his take on it. But there's got to be a way to learn this information without a 20-page self-evaluation.
Are we going to invite him to our meeting?
Yeah, I'm going to invite him to our next meeting. I keep forgetting. That's on me.
Okay. I mean, usually we've met with the town manager on this and also on goals, more specifically on goals.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep moving forward and I'll keep thinking on this, but please, if folks could put some brain cells on this in the next week, this particular problem of, it sounds like the key issue is that the council does not see every aspect of the town manager's performance on the items defined in the charter. And the question is, how do we fairly evaluate him on that without creating too onerous of a process for him? I guess that's that. All right. One of the other themes that emerged was the discussion about numbers versus just words. I'll share personally, I would love to get rid of the numbers. I think that it leads folks to feeling like it's a rating and not or a rating like a grade. Kind of just what Paul said, right? It's yeah. You can still quantify this by saying, 50% of the people said that he met most, if not all. And because we're not allowing for mid-range scores, we don't need numbers. We're not saying you can't pick halfway between, right? You got to pick one or the other. So how does the committee feel about eliminating the numbers, having it just be, I can pull up my screen to show you. So it would just be, instead of it would just read like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sorry. And I was going to change this to say minimal. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Arte.
I'm in favor of removing numbers, but I also had a question which more or less I think you've answered with your illustration here. Is it going to be the case that the survey will be an online survey? Yes, that answers my question. Yes.
Yep. I sent the committee a link a while ago, and I can send another link. And I would love concrete confirmation that I am allowed to send this link to the council to review what this looks like as an actual form. It's the responses just come to me. They're not coming to anybody else. That's okay, right? And
They don't even need to respond. They can just go through it.
they don't need to respond, but if they want to, they can test it. But they don't need to. but it's just coming to me and the public has seen this content of it.
That's a really good question, and I would like I don't know.
Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real frustrated if we can't do this as a form. Lynn, what was your comment? Sorry.
Well, being the person that's had to summarize all of this, I'm still going to be stuck with saying things like 5 counselors said met most, if not all.
Right.
Okay. And then coming up with a rating that which by the way is marginally defensible because there's 13 counselors.
Why do you have to come up with a rating?
Well, a percentage or something. I mean, I
For
mean,
what?
you've all seen it. And I mean, I can say things like that, but
Okay,
how do
but
you then come up with a summary statement?
I want to back up though. Why do you have to come up with a percentage?
It's just the logical next step after numbers. You
I'm
don't have to.
confused.
You could still say 5. You could still, but at some point, if you want to come up with a statement, you're going to say something like, you know, on 21 of the criteria, counselors, 10 counselors said not applicable or can't rate or whatever. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to try to
Right.
summarize this. And believe me, I've worked with complicated data sets.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
This is not, it's not like, you know, I yeah, anyway, yeah. I'll end up using saying how many counselors did this, and then the next question is how do I get that to another level of summary, and I'll just have to work on it. And I have to
right.
tell you right now, this thing is just staring me in the face.
Right. It's something like X number of counselors stated that Paul exceeded expectations on the majority of goals, right? Or something like that. Is that what you mean? I'm looking at last year's memo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you say that? By, so there's, if 7 counselors, put your statements up again.
Hang on.
If 7 counselors say met most, if not all, or met some, but not all.
Mhm.
First of all, that's not even a 50% cutoff. Okay. And so does he only get rated high on the met most, if not all?
What do you mean by rated high?
So in
That's
other words,
like you're adding in another rating system, and that's what's confusing me.
well, okay, there's 13 counselors.
Yep.
In order to say he has met or exceeded his goals, which is what we've said in the past,
Mhm.
it seems to me that a majority of counselors would have to check the first box, the first circle.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I think that if we want to look at the distributions here, we can. I do think that an acceptable year is going to be the top 2, but and I say that because I believe that we have given an unrealistic amount to do. So in my mind, that's yeah.
But 40% is not even 50.
I know that.
So I'm trying to, to me, the only thing that allows you to say he's met that goal
Mm-hmm.
is the top one.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm saying that if you look at the aggregate, if you look at everyone's together, I don't think that if we have some here, some goals here and some goals here on average, right, that means an unsuccessful year overall. I agree that completing a goal or meeting that benchmark, whatever it is, would require most people select this top one. But I don't think that that's different than in the past where it's been satisfactory, commendable, satisfactory, needs improvement, unsatisfactory, unable to judge. I think that this is, honestly, and this makes no sense to me because again, it's a judgment versus a checkbox, and that's for me part of the inherent problem with this.
But- Those are check boxes to begin with.
No, I'm saying this is a judgment, whether it was commendable or satisfactory. That should be a checkbox. It should be it was complete or not complete.
But see, the way we've worded it, it is, and I don't have any problem with the fact that some goals are met, if not all. What if we, and in other words, I'm just not able to articulate. Maybe if I did 13 mock responses, I'd have a better way to think about this.
Okay. I'm happy to fill out a couple blank ones too or a couple like random ones too, and get you the results to look at.
I
I think-
think it would be important that only, and these are mock responses.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
And
you
so
got
it's
5 minutes.
not, I would really like to get a legal opinion on that, because in the past, I'm the only one that ever receives individual council responses.
I would like to specify, when I said I would like to share this with the council, it was truly to see the formatting. I would request that people not be filling it out and you would send out a separate, we'd make a copy of this that you would send out. This would not be the exact one that you send out to counselors. I will not have access to the results of the council. When you send this out for real,
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
That I'm not even questioning on it. That was not it.
okay.
I'm even thinking about a mock one.
Yeah, I would need to specify that folks are not to share true opinion in it. It's truly to look at the formatting.
Yeah.
Counselor Lord? It might have been another accidental one. Counselor Lord, feel free to interrupt me. Lynn, I think the other piece of this is remember that we are not tied to a specific way of writing the memo. And so I think that we have latitude to do that differently as well and to match the results that we get from the evaluation in the memo. So I would try to ease any stress of trying to create something that looks the same as what you've created before, because there is those parameters aren't on us. We can redo how we think about this memo. I'm going to go to Counselor Lord, but I also have time, and so I want to leave us with next steps on this. Counselor Lord? Oh, I think you froze, Counselor Lord. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Counselor Lord, if you oh, she's gone. Okay. It is 8:29 and we're going to be done at 8:30. So here's where I'd like to leave us. Everyone was at the council meeting on Monday and has heard this feedback. I would love for folks to think about if there are things you'd like to change, what those would be. Please come with those to our next meeting. We're going to run a tight ship at this next meeting because we need to get this to the council for the 6th. We will also need to decide at this next meeting how we're going to share this with staff and the public, what that looks like. It could be as simple as here's the job description, here are the goals, give us your top 3 and bottom 3, just like we're doing for the qualitative with the counselors, if we wanted to at least give a little bit more parameter for folks. It's 8:30. Any questions on what you need to do for next week? Okay, excellent. Thank you all. I know that was jam-packed. We will start next week off with the public ways. We have to vote all 3 items out, so I'll hopefully have some feedback from Andy and Pam for our next meeting, and then we will finish the town manager evaluation. We will likely not have time to get to the selection guidance and interview questions. I will put it on the agenda just in case we magically finish things on time, but just FYI in advance, we likely will not get to those based on what we need to do for the evaluation to get it done. Okay? Any questions or other items folks need to bring forward before we make a motion to adjourn? Lynn?
Please remind people to bring their calendars because I think we're gonna have to start scheduling some additional meetings.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bring your calendars next week and I will remind Pat and Counselor Lord of that. Is
I
there,
make a motion to adjourn.
thank you. Is there a second? Excellent. All right, I'm gonna call the vote. Counselor Ate,
Aye.
Lynn,
Aye,
and I am an aye. Thank you all so much and have a happy rest of your night.
thank you.
Bye.